Hey guys, the accessories in this video are what I actually use, not a roundup of the best things, just what I have and my thoughts on them. We'll go over the essentials, my current case dilemma, and one weird DIY accessory that might help your Apple Pencil avoid the same fate as mine. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the first accessory in this list. So let's push this to the side. And here is my first accessory. Now, you might be thinking, this is obvious, it's the Apple Pencil. And back then, when I bought my iPad in 2021, it was obvious. There was the old version, the first gen Apple Pencil, and then there was the new version, the second gen Apple Pencil, and that's this one. But now in 2026, there are 4 Apple Pencils. And based on the comments in some of my videos, people are buying the wrong ones. So here's a quick breakdown. So there is the first gen, the second gen, which is what I have, and then there's also the Apple Pencil Pro, which is the latest and greatest. And then there's also the Apple Pencil USB-C, which is the latest, but not exactly the greatest. So the Apple Pencil USB-C doesn't have pressure sensitivity, and that's a deal breaker when it comes to drawing and doing art, so I wouldn't get that. The one I would recommend today is the Apple Pencil Pro, and that's compatible with all the latest iPads. The only reason I'm still using my second gen is because my iPad from 2021 doesn't support the Apple Pencil Pro. Okay, for the second accessory, let's bring the iPad back. And the second accessory is actually the sponsor of today's video, and it's going to address a long-running sin that I've committed with this iPad. See, for 5 years, this iPad has been naked. I've never put a screen protector on it, and miraculously, I've somehow managed to get by with any major incidents. But recently, I scratched it and thought I should probably put on a screen protector now. So when Paperlike reached out to sponsor, I thought this is perfect, except for one thing. So this is a folder from when I was in school, and you can tell I was a 90s kid. At the time, I really loved like Street Fighter, I like Doom, I like Donkey Kong Country, but that's not the point. The point is, look at those air bubbles. So growing up in school, I hated contacting my exercise books and my folders. Now, obviously I've chosen like a pretty extreme example here, but man, these air bubbles are crazy. Like, you know, I don't think all my contacting was as bad as this, but you get the idea. I was bad at contacting things. And this also applies to screen protectors. So I really don't like getting air bubbles when I put on screen protectors on my devices, and I really don't like getting dust trapped underneath it. But I've decided to give the Paperlike 3 screen protector a try because they promise a no-stress, dust-free application called the Butterfly Application System. Now, I was skeptical about this system, but I was blown away when I opened it up. They have a well thought out system of labeled tabs, an applicator tool, and a video tutorial wrapped in a simple, elegant interface you can step through on your iPad as you apply it. It truly is an elegant, well thought out and stress-free system. Now, the Butterfly Application System is just one part of the product. The other part is obviously the Paperlike texture, which uses a special nanodot surface technology. It's a micro texture technology that Paperlike has been perfecting for years. So how did it feel once I finally put it on? This is just my first impression, but it's absolutely amazing. I may be overblowing it because I spent 5 years skating my stylus around on this glassy surface. But now, yeah, it really does feel good. It's incredible, actually. You know what? I kind of wish I put one on earlier. I'm going to keep testing this out over the next few days. But yeah, initial impressions are the application system is legit, and so is the Paperlike texture. If you're interested in getting a Paperlike 3 for your own iPad, check out the link in the description below. So these next 2 accessories I call quality of life accessories. They don't really seem important, but once you get them, you can't imagine life without them. The first is actually what's underneath this iPad. This is a Dawn Trees desk mat. I got it on Amazon and it retails for about 22 Australian dollars. They have like a light gray version and also a dark gray version. Right now I'm really vibing with this dark gray. It kind of matches my setup. And this isn't specifically for iPad, it's just a desk mat. But what makes it nice is that when you're just drawing on your desk, especially in winter, you know, having a soft surface to rest your wrist on just makes everything feel a lot cozier. So yeah, I definitely think it's one of those subtle things, but it makes a big difference. The next accessory in this list is a cleaning cloth. Now everyone knows that iPads are notorious for getting dust and fingerprints on them, so a cleaning cloth is really important, but there's something specific about my cleaning cloth. So you can see this one is super plush. It has a plush side and then it has like a normal side. What's really great about it is it kind of feels electrostatic. So when I do, like, let me just turn this off, you know, you can see it's quite dirty. You know, when I wipe it off, the dust comes with it and it just gets sucked into this cloth. There's still fingerprints on here. I would need to like kind of breathe on it or, you know, add some moisture. But in terms of getting rid of dust, this thing is super, super effective. So I actually bought this cleaning cloth for my car. It was actually meant to be for like interior detailing, and it's actually by like a car cleaning accessories company called Bowden's Own. So this is the Plush Daddy, and it retails for $17.99 AUD. You don't have to get this one, but just try to get one that has this fluffy kind of electrostatic feeling. This thing, basically it acts like a duster, all right? So yeah, this thing is awesome, and I use it to clean all of my electronics. Okay, so this is the fifth accessory, the Anker 341 USB-C hub. Now this is a bit of a strange one because usually you use like hubs to connect to your laptop, right? To give yourself more ports. But I bought this specifically to match with my iPad. And I have a very specific use case for this, so you may not have this use case. But the main reason I bought this is actually for this port here. So right here, there is an SD card reader. It also has a bunch of other really useful ports as well. There's even an HDMI. So, I mean, the HDMI is actually useful for iPads as well because it means you can connect your iPad to a TV screen and display things there. But yeah, the main reason I bought it was for the SD card reader, and the reason why is for travel. So back in 2022, my wife and I were going on a trip to Greece, and I wanted to take my iPad because I thought there'd be some really awesome opportunities to draw things. I also took a DSLR for photography and vlogging, which can quickly chew up SD card space. So the Anker Hub's SD card slot allowed me to dump my media and use the excess storage capacity of my iPad. And so it was thanks to that device I was able to capture a lot more photos. And you know, here is an example of one of the photos I took. It was of this really beautiful, gorgeous doorway that I saw in a small neighborhood called Plaka. And I'm using it as a reference photo in my artwork for my latest Patreon video, which you can find at patreon.com/Jaywalker Pictures. For those that are new here, my name is Jay. I'm an artist from Sydney, Australia, and my Patreon, The Drawing Club, is all about getting the most out of the iPad and Procreate. There's a complete 6-video tutorial series that covers the fundamentals of drawing, and a new series where I'm exploring Sydney looking for real-world reference and inspiration. Check it out at patreon.com/Jaywalker Pictures, and I hope to see you there. Okay, accessory number 7 is actually 2 items, and the reason why is because I can't find a single item that can do it all. And this is the case dilemma that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So the first case that I have is actually this one. This is the Apple Magic Keyboard. So let me push this out of the way. This is probably not the best angle. This is great for productivity. You know, it gives you a keyboard that turns it basically into a mini computer, and then it also folds up into a really strong and protective case, so you can just throw it in your bag and not worry about things banging against it. I got this as a farewell gift from my colleagues at my last workplace, so if you guys are watching this, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, especially because I know this isn't cheap. And that brings me to the first downside of this case. Like, it is very expensive and not everyone's going to be able to afford it. The second downside is that I can't use this case for art or drawing. Like, there's no configuration that allows me to put the tablet at an angle that is comfortable for drawing, and it's just totally awkward. And this led me to my second case, and this one is a lot more useful for drawing. So this one here, okay, let me just put it on. Okay, so this case is the O-Stand iPad case by a company called Taurus. And the really cool thing about this one is that it has a small stand at the back, so you can kind of angle your iPad up, and that's a pretty good angle for drawing. And it also has a larger stand that you can use for general like video viewing purposes. What I like about it is it's really well built. So the production quality is top notch. You know, the hinges on the back are super tight and strong, and it doesn't feel cheap or low quality at all. It's just a really great product, but there is one weakness to this product. So there's no front facing, you know, glass protection on this front of this screen. So I can't, you know, fold this up, throw it in my bag and feel safe knowing that this isn't going to get scratched by the things in my bag. Whereas the Apple Magic Keyboard can. So that's my dilemma. I've got an Apple Magic Keyboard that gives great front protection and also a keyboard, but is bad for art. I've got the Taurus O-Stand iPad case, which is great for general protection, gives a nice incline for drawing, but it has no front-facing protection, so I can't just throw it in my bag and forget about it. So when I travel or I'm just going out for the day, I need to consider what my use cases are going to be with my iPad, decide which case to bring based on that, and sometimes even bring both cases, which I have done, especially when I go traveling. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't me saying these products are bad. They are great products. You know, I own them and I think they are great, but they have their own use cases. They have their own strengths and weaknesses. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for your case. Okay guys, we are up to the last accessory in this list, accessory number 8, but it's a little weird and it's a DIY accessory. So to explain this, we've got to go back to the first accessory in this list, the Apple Pencil. Okay, so you can see my Apple Pencil here, but believe it or not, this is actually my second Apple Pencil. The first Apple Pencil is here. And you can see it's broken. Long story short, I dropped this Apple Pencil almost vertically on our hardwood floor and it just shattered. And at the time when I dropped it, money was a little tight. So this meant a lot to me having dropped it. I didn't want to have to spend another $120 on an Apple Pencil, but I had to in order to continue making videos. So this was a big deal for me. And after I bought my second Apple Pencil, after just a few days of using it, I dropped it again. And thankfully it survived. But those few moments between dropping it and looking down to see the damage was definitely heart-stopping, and I was thinking I really can't afford to have another broken Apple Pencil, so I needed a solution. So this is my solution, and this is my DIY rubber band tether. So what I do is I basically just get this white bit of rubber and I wrap it around the back of the Apple Pencil like this. 2 times should be enough, and then I grab this part and just put it around my wrist. This rubber band's pretty well sized for my wrist, so if you do make one of these, don't use one that's too tight, otherwise you're gonna cut off some blood flow. And then if I just rotate it around, okay, like that. So now I can draw and I don't need to worry about dropping it like this, and it's just gonna dangle there. There you go, you can see it right there. And yeah, it just gives me peace of mind, really. I kind of wish that Apple just would have given us like a little hole in order to feed through a typical lanyard. But, you know, actually I could make this better. I could just have this white piece and then wrap a lanyard around here so it looks a bit more presentable. But, you know, this will do for now. And yeah, so now I can freely draw without worrying about dropping my Apple Pencil. And it's a very low-tech solution that gives me a lot of peace of mind. Okay, so those are my 8 iPad accessories for art in 2026. This was just an honest look at what I use, the good and the bad. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, and if you're new here, please subscribe and also turn on notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you want to learn how to draw this image, there's a full video over on my Patreon, patreon.com/Jaywalker. It takes you through the entire process, and it includes the original Procreate file and the brush that I used. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.